welcome to episode 202 of the Thinking LSAT podcast in Vienna, Virginia. This is Ben Olson. With me is Nathan Fox in Los Angeles. How's it going?
Great, man. I saw the best movie. I saw it again. I know I mentioned it briefly. Midsummer.
Okay.
It's incredible. It's probably too much for a lot of listeners, so be warned that it's horrifying, gruesome, but it's also hilarious and beautiful, and I just highly recommend it. It's the best movie I've seen in quite some time.
What's it about?
A trip to Sweden and a midsummer festival with a kind of culty family of people living way out in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. And it turns violent, you're saying?
Yeah. It's pretty shocking right off the bat. But then once they get over there and they get in, they realize what the festival is actually all about. It's pretty trippy and weird. And I don't know. I can't really describe it. It's horror or suspense or thriller, but it's also a comedy. I just really love it. It's beautiful. I thought it was an amazing, amazing movie.
Cool. Midsummer is its name.
Midsummer, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got it. So today is Tuesday, July 16th. Yesterday was, well, if you're listening to the show, it's the 22nd, but we are recording today on the 16th. Just yesterday was the rollout of the digital LSAT.
Yeah.
We've heard a variety of things, some glitches, some people being sent home and asked to take the test in September. Other people having some interesting requirements for the digital LSAT. So we will definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
We have some great deals from LSAC. Oh, great. Yes.
Those packages.
Yeah. Great. In air quotes. Okay. Great deals from LSAC. We have an email from our favorite dean of all time. Dean, what's his name again?
His name is David Fagman.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
He's a recurring guest on the show by now, with every time he sends out his 5,000 word emails about UC Hastings. Yep.
Anyways, okay. So from him, we get an update. We also are going to review a personal statement, and we're going to tackle Prep Test 71, question 5, and if time, maybe another question. Hey, so I saw on the Facebook group the other day, someone mentioned that we should have a thinking personal statement podcast that's solely dedicated to personal statements. I was curious what your take was on that suggestion.
It's a lot of, I don't know. It's a lot of work. I don't know.
It is. It is hard to create one.
Get a whole new subscriber base. And I don't know. I think I like the mix. I like talking about LSAT stuff and law school culture stuff and admission stuff, and personal statements are part of that. Yeah, it's a good suggestion. I just don't think we're doing it.
Cool. So upcoming events. August 1st is your last day to register for the September LSAT. You're not going to get your July LSAT score until August 28th, so you need to make that decision now. The sense I'm getting from the July LSAT was that it seemed to go well for quite a few people. I mean, we always hear people who love it. We always hear people who hate it, but I feel like more people are liking it than hating it this year. Do you have any sense of that so far?
Yeah, to everybody I'm talking to says they killed it. I mean, there's always the, one or two people who have like a panic attack or whatever and just lose their mind and choke. Mm-hmm. But almost everyone who took it yesterday is reporting positive things. Glitches with the administration of the digital notwithstanding. The test itself, I think, was easy. Yeah, the games sound like they're super straightforward.
Okay. Then we have the September LSAT on the 21st of September. You can always email the show at help@thinkinglsat.com. Send us your selfies if you're so inclined. We love that. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Stitcher, and thinkinglsat.com, which was recently renovated thanks to Sarah. People leave reviews for us on iTunes. We always appreciate that, from the good ones to the bad ones. So if you're so inclined, please leave a review for us. We have some demon updates or reviews. What is this? Do you want to read some of these?
Sure. This is just, I don't know. These are testimonials, looks like. It says, the LSAT Demon was great practice for the digital LSAT I took today. The format on the LSAT was almost identical to the LSAT Demon that was in the Facebook group. Of course, we can't make it exactly like the digital LSAT, but we're going to get as close as we can, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's see. Shout out to the Demon and all your explanations. I kept hearing Nathan's voice scolding me during the logical reasoning to predict the answer. And I heard Ben's voice when I was reading the games. I love the differences in your personalities. It made this July test easier. I'll keep listening and practicing to improve and give another update. Hopefully you can see that you guys are literally getting in our brains.
Whoa. Literally. Not literally.
Anyway, we appreciate that. I mean, it does feel good when people say we're helping them. So we're trying. We're doing our best.
Yeah. Well, good. So I guess this first email is the update stuff.
This is from Matt.
What is this? Oh, this is Matt's email. Oh, okay. Yep. I was like, this seems so long. What is this? Okay. Yeah. I feel like you should tackle this one as well.
Okay. I don't know if we're going to have time to read every word of it, but Hey, Nathan and Ben, yours truly that means I got the pleasure of taking the LSAT on a Microsoft Go today. Commence all the eye rolling towards LSAC. Yeah, this is, I'm going to paraphrase a bit. He said that they didn't even start checking people in until after 12:30 here in downtown LA at the Grand Hotel. They finally got everybody seated and about ready for the instructions at 1:30 p.m. I thought this was absolutely hilarious. The tablets have a kickstand on them, Ben.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to use the kickstand, but only to 3 inches. So the proctors had to come around and ask people to lower their tablets.
That's insane.
I was just like, the over-engineering from these people is just shocking. Like, what benefit are you going to really like just be looking over someone's shoulder and getting the answers the whole time? No one's doing that. That would be ridiculous. Plus, you don't even have the same sections in the same order, right? So what? Yeah. Why do they care? What? and also, they're your stupid fucking tablets. Why did you give them a tablet with a kickstand that you don't want them to use? Or you only want them to use it to a certain level?
3 inches. I don't know what to make of that. I mean, now, so as Matt pointed out, it makes it essentially a paper-based test, right? Because a paper-based test, you have to lay flat on your desk, presumably. I guess you could hold it up, but no one ever did. And now, if it's only 3 inches off the ground on one end, it's essentially flat. And Matt also had a good point here when we followed up with him. He said that they could have put the privacy screens on here. Why not do that? Someone panicked and said, wait, they might be able to cheat. Limit them to 3 inches, I guess.
And so your proctors are going to have to constantly be monitoring that and like, oh my God. Yeah. They say, Matt said the startup of it was faster because you don't have to fill out the bubble sheets, your name and all that shit. So they scan the QR code on your admission ticket. They scan the tablet itself. They scan your scratch paper book. And then the proctor computer just pops up your info and gives you a seat in the room and everything. So it sounds like pretty slick. Yeah. You get scratch paper to use that has LSAT watermarks all over it.
What the heck is the point of that? So you can't
steal the scratch paper. Yeah, because they're worried about people like writing down their precious test questions and taking it out of the room. So the scratch paper that they provided has LSAT watermarks.
Well, are they going to... Okay, anyway.
So you have to do logic games on a page that has LSAT watermarks on the whole thing. Yeah. Awesome. There were extra tablets that were charging with the proctors just in case any of their tablets died. Yeah. And Matt said that they make loud noises when they reach like full charge, and that happened like 5 times during the test.
And that the proctors gave shoulder shrugs.
Well, yeah, what are they going to do?
LSAC, our overlords, have instructed us to charge these tablets. Microsoft
This whole
did
thing
not
with the
silence
timers
them.
is weird. Did you read this? The proctor hits the go button and the directions pop up at the same time your timer starts. So each tablet has its own individual timer to account for any lag that happens when the proctor says go. Everyone ends up finishing within seconds of each other. But if a tablet goes down, for instance, your individual timer stops and your new tablet would pick up where you left off. So it's not a single stopwatch and everybody on that same clock. It's actually everybody is on different clocks now.
Okay. Yep. So wait, so if your tablet goes down, you get a new tablet, your timer resumes where you left off, which makes sense. That's, you get your 35 minutes and it's their problem that their tablet broke. But then I guess everybody waits for you, right? They're going to wait a minute or however long it took you to get that new tablet.
Oh, everyone else in the room would just have to sit there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess but it'll be all like your tablet, your time will be up on your tablet. So there's nothing you can do about it. Like you can't cheat or anything, right? You'd just be sitting there.
No,
waiting.
just be sitting
so
there.
I guess that's kind of slick. I mean, of course, none of this would have had to have happened at all if they would have just used the Sylvan Learning Center hardware that's already like been out forever. And there would be no policy making about how high your kickstand is allowed to be if they had just used these centers that are already everywhere. But
well, it's, I feel like their solution to this, to the problems that LSAT faces and LSAC itself as the administrator of the LSAT are such band-aids, right? Like they went from 4 tests a year to 6 tests a year, and now they're going to 9 tests a year. And the reason they're doing this is that they want people to have more flexibility. But if you're going to go digital, you can go from limited flexibility to essentially unlimited flexibility by releasing this test to all these testing centers around the world. But instead, they take one step forward. It's kind of like the electric car, right? Elon Musk is like, okay, let's just completely redesign this thing and it's going to solve all these problems at once. And I'm driving in this truck the other day and they have this auto off, when you come to the stoplight and your car goes off.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, okay, great. You just saved 22 seconds of gas consumption. Wow.
Yeah. One drop of gas. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what LSAC has done. They're like, we're going to go digital, but no, we're not going to take it. It's almost like they created an electric car, but then they said, let's burn some gas on the side and we'll turn off your car when you come to a stop sign and that will save some gas.
Yeah.
Convoluted mess. Anyway.
The way they talk about it is because they're just, they're real worried about the security of it or something that they didn't, but it's like,
GMAT,
hold on.
GRE has been worried about security too.
Yeah. Well, they're just not so precious about their questions. They're somebody there is just super paranoid about the questions, which the irony of that is that they're every LSAT student basically has all the PDFs already anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just rampant piracy that goes on all the time anyway. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what they think they're protecting, and then they ended up causing themselves so many problems. They made it more time consuming and more expensive and they made it an immense, more of a hassle for themselves.
Yeah.
When they could have just distributed the content of the test digitally to these to these testing centers, and then it would have been so much easier for the students. Those places, they're dedicated to all they do every day, 365 days a year, is administer tests.
Yeah.
The staff who work there are professional test proctors. I mean, They don't have to do anything because the computer does it for them, but you're the only one there taking the LSAT that day, so you can't cheat.
Yep.
Or I should say the GMAT that day or the GRE that day, because the LSAT is not offered there. It could have been, and people could have registered and taken the test in 2 weeks and then got their scores immediately. And instead, we've got register 6 weeks in advance for this test, take the test, and wait 6 weeks for your score. Anyway.
Yeah, well, plus people got to realize that everybody's test would be unique to them because it would be computer adaptive.
Yeah.
Which means they'd give you a question. If you got it right or wrong, just like the demon, it would give you harder or easier questions depending on your skill level. So they wouldn't need to give you as many questions. The test would be shorter because they could hone in on your skill level faster. And then because it's giving you random questions from a database, it's not like you can turn around to your friend and say, well, guess what this game is like? Because they're going to get a different game. They're going to get a different LR question. And that pool of questions is not released to the public. GRE does not release their questions that are in this database for good reason. And so now you don't have to scramble and create 100 new questions every month, essentially now, or 2 months.
They're just protecting they're just trying to make more money off of selling books, I guess, and trying to make more money off of license fees that people like us have to pay. And yeah, whatever. They're going their own way. Let's see. There's no 5-minute warning, like no public 5-minute warning, because it's just a pop-up on the tablet on your timer. That makes sense. Reading comp, you can select between a passage only and a passage and questions view. Mm-hmm. So passage only, you've got a scroll, you've got non-scrollable pages, like a couple pages, and you go back and forth between the pages. If you look at passage and questions, then you have scrolling up and down on the passage while answering the questions. That's kind of interesting. No line numbers. That's interesting. I mean, they don't need line numbers because when a question references a specific quote, phrase, or word, like when the author used the words blah, blah, blah in the third paragraph, the tablet highlights the words in the passage, but it also highlights the words in the question itself, which is kind of overkill, but it's highlighted in both instant in they really didn't need to highlight it in the question, but fine, whatever they did. And it's also highlighted in the passage, so you can just scan right to it. So no line references. Mm-hmm. Oh, and you get to keep the stylus. Sweet. Here's another
$200 stylus. So.
Yeah, totally. Here's another update. This one was I got an email this morning from Alessandra. This one says, iPads generally worked fine, though the test center had a 2-hour delay getting things in place. People are saying it seems to speed up test taking, faster to just click a bubble instead of bubble a bubble on a score sheet.
Yeah.
She says one thing they didn't consider is space on the desk. They forbid taking the iPad off the desk and holding it in your lap. And so if you have those small one-sided, one-handed college desks, you know, the little flippy thing in the old lecture halls, if you have that, sure. There's now not enough space to simultaneously have the iPad and their 8.5 by 11 scratch paper pad booklet that they gave you. Mm-hmm. So now you have to shift the scratch paper around to write on the corner of like a corner of this big scratch paper booklet that they gave you, but you can only use a tiny little bit of it because you have to make sure to keep the iPad, firmly on the desk in front of you, and also now try to write onto the scratch paper on the hard surface. Mm. They really, that's not cool, right? Like I didn't care when I took the test with pencil and paper on one of those flippy desky things. Mm-hmm. And that was easy because you could just stack it up on top. Like it was fine. Like no big deal.
Yeah. But
this does sound like a pretty pain in the ass. Like you're worried about knocking the iPad off of the little tiny desk. I don't know. Oh, how about this? They don't allow use of writing implements other than the stylus. So if you're used to erasing things on games, you can't, because the stylus is just a pen on one side and a stylus on the other.
Well, wait, so we had known about this. We knew that the stylus was a pen and a stylus. And I think someone had asked if they could bring a pencil to the test center. And at least the LSAT rep that they talked to said yes.
Well, yesterday everyone had to bring a pencil to the testing center.
Yeah.
But here it's saying, I guess what they're saying is for the people who got the digital, or at least her, and obviously the different proctors are going to fuck it up in different ways, but
sure.
She got assigned in digital and they wouldn't let her write with anything other than the stylus.
That's really interesting.
I mean, you shouldn't be erasing on the logic games anyway, right? Like
You don't really need to.
You need not to. I mean, because it's better to save your diagram, your like mini diagrams.
I
right?
agree in general. Sometimes though, I will declutter, and so I have erased, but it's very rare, and it's not essential, I would say.
Yeah, and instead of erase, I would always just scribble it out. You know, I mean, you can just line it out. It's faster. So anyway, people are, sounds like, going to have to get used to potentially not erasing at all. I think that's about it. Did you have any other updates?
No.
Cool. All right, should we move along?
We should. Okay. So.
I do have one more.
Yep.
Someone who was very nervous today and yesterday, because the proctor, they read the full instructions like normal, including the instructions that tell you that you have 7 days to cancel your score, 7 days from yesterday to cancel your score. They actually read that, even though that isn't true for this administration. So she was sitting there during the test, like panicking, like, wait, I thought that I thought we were going to be able to get our score back and then cancel.
Yeah.
And instead, because stupid proctor they gave the wrong instructions.
I wonder what happened there. Yeah, that's weird.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that could have happened at all testing centers.
Huh.
They just left the boilerplate in there and didn't.
It's weird because it seems like they've thought through so many things or tried to. I mean, they thought of the 3 inches, but
it's got to be. I can't imagine. Like, we proctor one test in our class, our classroom, and we have like, it's like we know what that requires.
Yeah, there's always questions. There's always confusion.
They're doing it nationwide with like hourly employees who like they're making like $20 on a Saturday or a Monday to do just, I mean, 4 days a year, right? Or 9 days a year. Like they're just not, they can't possibly be trained. They can't, it's like just not possible that they would have well-trained like proctors who actually know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So for sure, you need to be like just ready to roll with the punches on the day of the test, because you just don't know what's going to happen. It's just going to be weird. It's always going to be weird. All right. Want to look at these packages?
Yeah.
Are these new? I hadn't seen these before.
Yeah, I hadn't seen these either. I mean, some of these packages obviously have been around, but combining stuff together, I've never seen that.
Yeah, I had never seen this package 1 and package 2. So I had a student who was registering for the credential assembly service, or registering for the LSAT, registering for the credential assembly service, and justifiably whining to me about how much everything costs. But
wait, what's this law school report?
That's report that's the report fee, dude. The report fee that the credential assembly service for every school you apply to, that's the $45 per school.
Holy smokes. I mean, I would assume that if you sign up for the LSAT, you now have like an account to keep your information, and then you would just, if you've got to pay per school, fine, but then you pay your $45 for each school that you apply to, but you have to pay an additional $195 just to have this account. Why? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it does if you assume that LSAC likes money. I mean, it doesn't, of course. Yeah, we've complained about this a million times. Like you sign up for the LSAT, that costs $200. You sign up for the credential assembly service, that costs $195, just so that you can have this mandatory credential assembly account where they like have to collect all your transcripts. You do have to send in
the transcript. That's true.
The LORs. Whatever. Okay. But then they have a digital version of you. They have a digital file, and they charge $45 for every school they send that file to. And I mean, that's it. They don't even probably have to do anything at all. Like, you do it. You're the one who like says apply to this school, blah, whatever. And I'm sure that on the back end that just like shows up in UCLA's queue of applications.
Yep.
So they do literally nothing for that $45. If you apply to 10 schools, that's $450.
Yeah.
For what? For nothing. Just because they can. I don't know. Anyway, they have these packages where they're just, they're really doing you a favor here.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna really, this is a great deal where you get package 1, you get the LSAT, that's worth $200.
Oh, it includes LSAT writing, by the way.
Yeah, did they? Well, yeah, I don't know what they mean by that. Like, I thought LSAT writing has a separate fee now, right? I mean, the LSAT writing is included that was included for people who took it in June and July.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not included for September unless they've decided to change their mind. But this makes no sense. It's just such a fucking shit show. My God.
Mm-hmm.
But, okay. So
one.
LSAT and LSAT writing. This is what package 1 is. LSAT with LSAT writing, the Credential Assembly Service, and 1 law school report. So LSAT and LSAT writing is worth $215 because the LSAT costs $200 and the LSAT writing costs $15. The Credential Assembly Service costs $195.
Hold up. Sorry, just to correct you on that. The initial $200 does cover the writing as well. Because look at the top line item. LSAT includes LSAT writing, $200.
But I don't think that's true. I don't think if you sign up for September, I don't think you get LSAT writing included for your $200.
Okay. All right.
Otherwise, why do they have standalone LSAT writing? It just makes no sense.
Oh, I think I think they have standalone because if you want to take it again separately, just do it again.
What kind of an idiot would you be if you did that?
I don't know, but that's an option. I think
I've gotten a perfect score on LSAT writing 100 times. I take it every day. I like having the virtual LSAT proctors looking through my camera on my computer.
Yeah. I actually want to try that now. I want to see what that's like. I want to see how they watch me the whole time. What's going on there? That's weird.
Yeah, you should let me know how that goes. Adding up the value of these packages,
mm-hmm.
the LSAT writing, Credential Assembly Service, and 1 law school report, I added up the component values. It's $455.
Mm-hmm.
But they're giving you package 1 for the low price of just $430. So you saved $25.
Wait. Now hold up. Did you add that 15 or not?
I think I did add the 15, which means the component value, if they're right that the LSAT writing is included with the LSAT, the component value goes down to $440. So then it's $10. Only a $10 discount, which probably that's the case actually, because then they got package 2, and this is where it got really absurd.
Okay.
So package 2 includes everything that's included in package 1, but you also get 5 more reports. Those reports are worth $45 each. Well, they're not worth $45 each. They just charge $45 each for them.
Suggested retail price.
Yes, right. And so the 5 more reports is worth $225 more, but the package itself costs $220 more. So you do get an additional $5 savings.
Oh my gosh. You save $5 and you risked of locking in 6 schools or 5 schools, I guess, that you may not end up using. But if you decide to use, you risked $5 by not getting it.
If you are hearing my voice right now, please, I beg you, ask schools for application fee waivers, but also ask schools to waive this stupid law school report. They can. And if they have to pay LSAC $45 for that report, so be it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I wonder if they do, because although the law schools essentially govern LSAC between each other, they'd probably want other schools to pay if they're all, otherwise it becomes a free-for-all and no one would charge.
Well, I mean, that's just, we got to do that. We got to make that happen, right? Like please, everyone, ask every single school you apply to for an application fee waiver. And also make sure you ask them for you want them to waive that law school report fee as well. And because they can, and it's really easy for them to do it. They have a back end thing where they can just log in and they just click a button basically. And now you don't have to pay that law school report to the LSAC.
Yeah.
So, apply broadly, apply to 10, 15, 20 schools. and just get fee waivers from every single one of them, because there's no reason for you to be paying $1,000 extra for these stupid report fees.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Well, okay. So this next email is one that you got from your favorite school, UC Hastings. What is this email about ultimately?
So you haven't read it?
I know. Well,
you're in for a treat.
No.
It's awesome. You're going to love it.
I read some of it and then I stopped. Yeah.
You're going to love it. The subject says, happy but not satisfied in fiscal year 19.
I don't think any of his emails have had happy news.
Report from the Titanic.
Yeah. And why is it fiscal year? Jeez Louise. I think
why did he capitalize satisfied? Why did he put happy but not satisfied in fiscal year 19 as the subject of an email that he sent out to the entire Hastings community? I've talked to other, like every time these emails come out, I have multiple email threads going on of like other Hastings people that I know and just other lawyer people that I know. And as everybody immediately is just dunking on this guy for being such he's just the best comedy. But one person, this fellow Hastings alum, who is a lawyer now, says that she has thought about emailing him to tell him how insulted she is every time he sends out an email, because she's $100,000 in debt from Hastings.
Yeah,
and just fucking wait, Ben. The like just hubris on this email is unbelievable. First of all, it has a glamour shot of him at the top of it, like every one of his emails does. It has this like beautiful smiling picture of him. He's a beautiful man in a beautiful suit, and he's just like, hey, it's me again. All right, here's the email. It's so long, and it borders on the man with the kind eyes. It really does. I love it so much. All right, here we go. Mm-hmm. Dear alumni, our fiscal year ended on June 30th. Although law schools are not merely about money raised, alumni giving is an important part of a law school's success. Indeed, sometimes the story of just one alumnus/alumna can speak volumes. I have such a story, and I'll tell it referring to this particular alumnus by his initials, JB, though I did inform him that I was using the story of how we became friends in this message.
All right.
Look at all the commas and how long those sentences are. All right.
Well, the first sentence, the most important sentence of the email, our fiscal year ended on June 30th, period.
It's like no one gives a shit. I don't care. What's that do to me? It does nothing. Absolutely zero.
Next. Maybe no one gets mad at these emails because no one reads them. They're like, oh, what happened?
That's 100% certainly the case. And that's how he can get away with continuing to write these things. Because, clearly nobody reads them, except I do, because they're a delightful, unintentional comedy every single time.
Yep.
All right, here we go. It was my very first Dean's message on January 1, 2016, that brought JB and me together. So now he's writing messages about his own messages. Wow. In that message, I noted, among many highlights and concerns, hold on, we got to count the commas. In that message, comma, I noted, comma, among many highlights and concerns, comma, UC Hastings low bar passage rate, period. JB, comma, as do many alumni, comma, wrote back. He expressed his profound disappointment with his alma mater. Beyond our bar performance, which that year hovered at the ABA average, and the following year would drop to an embarrassing low, JB expressed considerable chagrin at our national rankings. The school, JB wrote me in strong terms, had lost its way. I responded to JB and largely did not dispute his characterization of Hastings' plight. We were not the school we once were, whether measured by bar statistics, rankings, or employment success. He's just like, indeed, having spent my career at Hastings, now going on 33 years, I had witnessed the decline in these important indices of success.
Oh my gosh.
It's almost like he's admitting that it's his fault. Like he's been there for 33 fucking years and it's just gone down and down and down the whole time he's been there.
Yeah, like if this were his first message, as he said it was, and he had just joined UC Hastings, it's like, oh, okay, you're here to fix things. Although clearly nothing has changed.
Well, now he's going back in time. Like he's pretending like he just started as the dean, you know, because now he says, you know, It was also why because he had witnessed this decline. Notice he witnessed the decline, even though he was there for 33 years. He witnessed the decline, and then sought the deanship. My loyalty to Hastings runs deep, and if I could do something for the school, I would put all I had behind doing so.
They should put this up as an example of a personal statement gone bad.
It's unreal. He's not at all striking the tone that he thinks he like. Can you imagine how differently people are receiving this than he thinks they're receiving it?
I think he thinks they're all on his side.
Yeah, he's bragging about how loyal he is. He's the hero. He's like just setting himself up as the hero of Hastings. In the months following that New Year's message, JB and I carried on a correspondence. It turns out that JB and I share little in terms of worldview. He describes himself as a Reagan Republican, and I am probably best described as an Obama Democrat.
What the heck? What does that have to do with anything? Sorry.
Well, yeah. Enough said, because our politics are beside the point. Then why fucking bring it up? It turns out that we have two fundamental things in common. First, we listen and respect alternative points of view, and second, we believe in Hastings and want it to be, at its core, dedicated to excellence.
Comma.
Dude, that sentence has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 commas and an incorrectly used semicolon.
And you have an and with a second. That's like, additionally, also, I'd like to point out.
The semicolon already means and. Yeah. And then he goes semicolon and then, also second. Wow. Furthermore, not only that, but also, though. All right, check this out. You're going to love this. Believe it or not, it's going to get better. After many months of emailing, JB and I eventually met for lunch.
Aw, it is a man with kind eyes.
Yep, it's a romance, man. We talked frankly about the school, and I told him about our plans for returning Hastings to a place of prominence, making it one of the preeminent public law schools in the nation. He listened to my ideas, I listened to his. He was skeptical, period. He let me pay for lunch.
What? It was our first date, and he paid for. Oh no, I paid for lunch.
Yep, he paid. Yep, David Fagman paid because he has not yet fully romanced JB, so he had to pay for lunch. Oh, poor dean of a fucking law school who has to make like $500,000 a year. Oh, I'm so sad. Wow. All right,
what is going on? Like you can't even make this stuff up.
I don't know. I don't know. Over the next year, JB and I met fairly regularly. When I was in LA or he was in San Francisco, we would try to get together. He started to believe in the school again, not because I was so persuasive, but because we had a plan to return Hastings to its place among elite law schools and, more importantly, had begun to implement it effectively. That's all just like 100% naked conclusion, right? Like no data there whatsoever. Just like,
yeah, you and JB implemented it effectively. You implemented it.
He had implemented it effectively. JB is just a lawyer, I guess, who lives here in LA apparently.
But he did say we, right?
I think he meant we as in Hastings, but
yeah.
So JB and Fagman are now having a long distance. Just they try to get together when they can. It's tough with the distance between them, but they do get together when they can. We were turning the ship, and JB recognized this.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
He started picking up the lunch tab.
What? So therefore, we should conclude from this that you're a successful dean, and that Hastings is a school that we should apply to and send gobs of money to. Oh no, actually, the point of this email is to get donations.
Yeah. The school. Yeah. He's doing. Yeah. Can you imagine reading this and being like, oh my God, I need to write Hastings a check right now.
I mean, JB paid for his lunch. What can I do?
I just have to do my share. The school has put into place numerous initiatives to improve bar performance, which have already begun to show success. We have moved from being 14th in the state on the July 2016 bar to being 10th in the state on the July 2018 bar. We aim to be consistently among the top 5. Dude, how about you try to get in the top 5 once and then worry about consistently getting in the top 5?
Yeah, well, okay. Anyway, yeah.
This is not going to happen. Like, what? Mm-hmm. This past year, we moved into 8th place in employment success from 11th in 2017, having improved 11.2% in 1 year, almost twice what any other law school in the state has done. We still have a ways to go, but we have begun to move the needle. More generally, our faculty, centers, clinics, and the UCSF UC Hastings Consortium bring increasing renown to our campus. We created new centers in business law, tax law, and the initiative in law and technology, Lex Lab, has already gained national attention. Additionally, our new academic building at 333 Golden Gate will be completed in December 2019.
Wait, hold on. Was that a comma splice? Or we're just, no, this is a run-on sentence. Why are we putting 2 sentences together? We created new centers in business law, tax law, and, oh yeah, this is a problem. You can't do this. He had a list going.
And the initiative in law and technology has gained national attention. Yeah, that's a whole new sentence. That is a new sentence. Yeah.
Whatever it's called. Yeah. It's bad.
Well, when you write a 5,000 word email, there's a lot of places to make mistakes.
Yep.
Okay, and they're building another housing thing at 198 McAllister. Great. The academic village has dramatically moved from concept and paper to concrete and steel.
Ooh.
Why are you building buildings, dude? You need to shrink the size of your law school. After having written us off in January 2016, JB wrote a check for $25,000 this past fiscal year. He is not alone in seeing where we are going and wanting to support our ability to get there. In fiscal year 2017-18, the school raised $7 million, more than ever before. In the fiscal year that just ended, June 30th, the school raised $10 million. As I told the Hastings Board of Directors, I am happy with these results, but not satisfied. We have to do better on all our metrics, including alumni giving. Great law schools rely on their alumni community to keep them great or to return them to greatness! To put it in colloquial terms, we have built a bandwagon for success, and we need alumni to get on board. Many alumni, like JB, have begun to step up. Quite the metaphor there. We've built a bandwagon for success. All aboard. If we are to reach the heights of excellence to which we aspire, we'll need many, many more to believe in Hastings' future. I invite you to be part of this future by investing in your alma mater. It's an investment that will pay dividends, both to future generations of students who will pursue a degree from the University of California Hastings College of the Law, and to those attorneys like you who already hold one. I hope you all had a wonderful start to the summer, and I wish you all the best in this coming square brackets fiscal year. You could just say coming year, dude. I'm not on a fiscal year. I don't care about your fiscal year.
Oh, he capitalized regards in warm regards.
Warm regards, David. Oh boy. This idea that you're gonna get dividends. He actually uses the word dividends. Of course he means that metaphorically.
Yeah.
That if you're gonna donate money to the school and then get dividends back. Okay.
It's this loose idea that if the school ranking increases, your stature and thus pay will increase, but the association is so loosely held that at this point in your career, your success, your previous jobs are going to matter exponentially more. It's just strange.
Yeah, I just don't understand how you get anything back for this. What? It's going to be a benefit for your career? No, it's not. Like, you know what pays dividends? Apple stock of shares of Apple Computer, that pays dividends. You buy shares of Apple Computer, you immediately start making 3% dividends off of that shit.
Yeah.
You donate money to Hastings, you immediately make zero. You get spammed more by Figment, and he tries to get you to take him to lunch.
$25,000. So what are the good things here? He says that the school raised $7 million last year, or no, 2 years ago, and then $10 million last year. That's pretty good. I don't know how they do that. That's incredible.
I just think it's people with way too much money. I mean, like, I don't understand why anyone would donate to their alma mater. Like, for what? Especially when
they feel
when
a sense of community, maybe, or like,
you know, if you graduated from Hastings 40 years ago and you only paid $3,000 to go there, or, you know, actually 40 years ago it was probably less than $3,000. You paid like nothing to go there, basically, and then now you like own a law firm and are a multimillionaire.
Sure.
Okay, fine. I could see writing a check just because you're a rich guy, and rich guys like to write checks.
Maybe you feel grateful for what they gave you.
Yes. But anyone who graduated from Hastings in the last 10 years, like, already paid Hastings $150,000.
Yeah.
Like, it's shocking to me that they're sending this out to like my cohort, like people I went to law school with. There's no way the people I went to law school with are donating money back to Hastings.
This is kind of interesting. Like, it's a business, right? But people don't look at it as a business. They look at it as a school, and they say it's got a community obligation, and they act like, you know, they're barely getting by. But what if we did this? What if we reached out to our previous students and said, look, strategy prep has come a long way. I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied. I want to take it to the next level.
Need your help. It's
Please
critical.
Buy me lunch. And after you buy me lunch, will you consider just making a contribution? I mean, it's going to pay dividends.
My buddy Mike looked at this and was like, what if Target sent me an email like, hey, remember when you bought some shit last month at Target? We need you to keep giving money to Target. Yeah. It just, what? I don't get it.
So, okay, look, you do have some brand association with your alma mater, right? Like, you went there, it's on your resume. So maybe an analogy that's more fitting is something like, maybe you buy some Nike gear and you wear it. And so then you want Nike to be better. So you then contribute money to them or something.
Your car.
Yeah. Or your car.
Yes. Audi. You bought an Audi, and then so now you keep donating money to Audi so that you're cooler in your car.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, hey, we want to take it to the next level. We're like number 3 in the world. Toyota's number 1. we are going to be number 1. And people are coming around.
It'll pay dividends for you and future car buyers.
Yeah.
This Audi family. What? Okay. Let's move on. That's enough.
Thank you. Okay. So pearls and turds. Oh, we have something here, I guess.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So the current score is 216.9, which means we've seen 2 pearls. We've seen 16 turds and 9 ties. This is from Ginsberg Advanced Tutoring. Ooh, okay. So the message at the bottom, writes a listener, pearl or turd, question mark. Let's take a look at the message at the bottom. The message at the bottom says, set a goal you can achieve early under untimed pressure. Then see if you can keep your accuracy when timed. Once you achieve your goal, aim for a higher one. Well, at first, I need to understand exactly what is she or he suggesting.
Well, it's a follow-on for this table, right? It's how to set LSAT goals that work for you. Mm-hmm. And what it's telling you is at 80% accuracy, here's how many questions you would need to attempt. You know, like to get a 150, you need 14 points per section. And so they're telling you to attempt 18 and get 14 of them right.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'd rather that you attempt 13 and get those right and then guess on everything else. I mean, that's probably easier, I think. To get 14 points, it's probably easier to just do 13 and then guess on everything else than to do 18.
Sure.
80% accuracy is like not good, right? Like that's not. So that it gets a turd for that, for just even suggesting 80% accuracy.
Yeah. in the score tracker, I wonder if they're actually getting this like from us in some ways. Because in the score tracker, it says if you have below 80%, you're going way too fast. And I just did that because it's like a blanket number.
Yeah, I guess that's what they're doing here.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean that 80 is good. It just means that if you're below 80, there's definitely a problem. 85 still might be a problem.
Yeah, I think you should have 100% accuracy on games. On the questions you attempt, you just either figure it out or you don't. And then on the logical reasoning and reading comp, 95% accuracy.
Yeah.
You can't be successful by missing questions. That's just not how it's done. So anyway, what do you think about this advice? It seems like they're vouching for this 80% accuracy, and they're saying set a goal you can achieve under untimed pressure. Then see if you can keep up your accuracy when timed. So first set a goal untimed and do that, and then start timing yourself and see if you can keep your accuracy up.
I'm not exactly sure what the advice is here, but if the advice is think to yourself how many questions you can do in 35 minutes without worrying about finishing and get 80% of those correct, then I think it kind of makes sense. I would say, yeah, probably 90% of those correct. But other than that, it kind of like I do tell people all the time, you got 25 questions. You can't do 25 questions in 35 minutes. What if you did 18? Like, how many of those do you think you could get correct? And sometimes people don't know, right? Until they like just start doing the questions. But for some reason, setting a lower goal, like lets them mentally let go of trying to get to 25. It's like, well, what if you only had to do 18? Oh, that's a huge relief. Good. That's how you should go into the section. You should go into it relieved, knowing that you only, quote, have to do 18. And even then, you don't have to do that. But sometimes people need a number to give them permission to let go of the higher number. Does that make sense?
Sure, I guess. It seems kind of unnecessarily complicated way of teaching the idea that you need to focus on accuracy. But I guess people...
Oh, it's just like people have a goal. And so what we're trying to do is you can replace that with nothing, or you can replace it with something. And I think that for some people, maybe even a lot of people, replacing it with something is an easier step. Like just saying do whatever you want is kind of challenging.
I guess my philosophy is do one question at a time and get it right. And like
yes.
not have a goal for what? Your goal is to get that question right. Do that, then move on to the next one and see how far you get, but you need to like just work diligently for 35 minutes and get them all right. I don't know.
I agree. So what do you think of this advice?
It's not a pearl.
It's not a pearl. I'm not
There's
even sure
something
exactly what it's suggesting. So that's kind of a challenge.
Ty? I don't know. It doesn't, it's like if the general sentiment is slow down, then okay.
Yeah, I think there's an attempt here to do that, right? They're saying it is saying if it's unachievable to get 80%, you need to slow down. And that's true. If you're not hitting 80%, there's a problem.
Yeah. So let's give it a tie.
We're
up to 2 pearls, 16 turds, and 10 ties.
Oh, this next email calls us Mr. Fox and Mr. Olson.
Whoa.
All right. Oh, this is a personal statement. All right. Okay, I'll just read this. Okay, Mr. Fox and Mr. Olson. Greetings, gentlemen. Please refer to me on the air as Bacon. Okay, Bacon. I plan on attending law school this year and would love it if you read my personal statement on your podcast. I've listened to every episode and made great use of Mr. Fox's Logic Games Playbook, 100%. Logical Reasoning Encyclopedia, about 70%. Mr. Olson's Score Tracker, what percentage did you use it? And a bit of the LSAT demon. Okay. I sat for the LSAT 4 times last year with 33 additional full tests worth of timed sections as practice. and with a diagnostic of 141 in January, scored 145, 145, 146, and 150. Okay, let's see what you have to say about these scores. These scores aren't stellar by any means, but combined with my 3.73 LSAT GPA, my numbers are within range of excellent scholarships at a handful of regional schools. Throughout university, I was a committed student, and moving forward, that is the strength I will rely upon. Okay. Interestingly enough, on the last day I took the LSAT in November, I was not only at my school of choice, but it was also on the same day as my final Spartan race of the year. So in the morning, I was taking a standardized test, and in the afternoon, I was crawling under barbed wire and tackling a number of other obstacles in the outdoors. Anyway, I'd really appreciate your feedback, guys. ! Sincerely, Bacon. So, am I to interpret this to mean that Bacon got a 150 on his last official LSAT?
Yep, he's applying to law school. And we have an update at the top. He's already applied. So he took his last LSAT was in November, and he got a 150 on it after starting with a 141. And he's got strong enough grades. 3.73 is pretty good. And so he's going in there with a 3.7 and a 150, but which normally I would be cringing, but he said he's, trying to get a scholarship at a regional school. So that might be enough to get him a full ride. So if that's enough to get him a full ride, great. If that's not enough to get a full ride though, I think you need to do better on the LSAT. I
agree. He writes excellent scholarships, but what does excellent mean? To some people, 20% off is huge. To others, they're not going to go unless they get 100% off. So
especially when people only look at if they don't look at the net, they only look at the amount they're being given.
Yeah.
Look, they gave me $20,000 a year. They must really want me. And they're only going to charge me $30,000 a year.
Oh, that's what we should do for that law school if we ever start it. We'll charge $100,000 for 1 year of law school. And
that's how you know it's the best.
Yeah, it's the best. Can you see any other school that's charging you $100,000 for 1 year of schooling? No, that's because we're so amazing. But we do offer discounts. And so that 50% discount now discounts your tuition to $50,000. And you're thinking, wow, I haven't gotten such a huge offer from anyone else, but you're still paying us $50,000. Anyway. Okay. So this is Bacon's personal statement. Bottom line here, if you don't get a full ride, do this again. I'm worried. It says you took 33 additional full tests with
one section at a time.
One section at a time. But the point is 33 tests. That's a lot of tests. And I guess, I wonder how effectively you're reviewing since you went from 141 to 150.
Yeah, I mean, we expect people to improve by 10 points or more. I also just don't, 160 for me is the number I just don't, people shouldn't be going to law school with less than a 160, I don't think.
Okay.
So I think he's got he certainly could improve. I don't know why you can't improve. And Ben, you're right. 33 tests is a lot, but that's about a third of them. If he wants to continue, to study, he's got plenty of other work to do.
Yeah.
And his competitors are doing more.
Right. Yeah.
All 90 now, right?
Yeah.
We've got prep test 87 plus ABC, J. There's just, I don't know. Lawyers work extremely hard, crazily hard. And so, if you think 33 practice tests is that's all the time and energy you're going to give the LSAT. Well, okay. I mean, but other people outworked you.
Mm-hmm.
Other people definitely underworked you as well, but a lot of people did outwork you. I mean, a lot of the reason why it's hard to get to 160 or 65 or 170 is because people are working their asses off. And so, something did you score perfectly on the games? Because if you didn't score perfectly on the games, you could have done all those other practice tests worth of games.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people can just improve their LSAT score by 5, 6, 7 points just by doing that.
Yeah.
So hopefully, hey, if it works out, if he gets his full ride to his regional school, then great. But if not, try again next cycle.
Yeah. Okay. So, personal statement.
Yeah, let's do it.
He writes, "It's been a long time coming. Period." Oh, totally get rid of that. I don't even know what's been a long time coming. That is empty and meaningless.
Yeah, I need to learn something about you in the first sentence. And it's been a long time coming. What's been a long time coming?
From shy, skinny, and unfocused teenager. Okay, from a shy, skinny, and unfocused teenager, hopelessly addicted to video games, to disciplined student, bodybuilder, and Spartan athlete, my life's journey has finally brought me to law school. No, we don't want to start with your teenage years, and this is all telling.
I don't want to, yeah, we were all shy, unfocused, whatever, when we were teenagers. We, like, the fact that you were hopelessly addicted to video games, that's not going to give you points in anybody's book. And then now you're telling me that you're a disciplined student. Well, okay, I see your 3.7. That's pretty good. I also see your 150. Telling me that you're a bodybuilder and Spartan athlete is, that's actually like, okay, that's something, right? That's a fact about you. Cool.
Sure.
But then we don't need my life's journey has finally brought me to law school.
Not yet.
Not yet. We also know you're applying to law school. Yeah. Also, wait, hold on. Look at the subject of that. My life's journey has finally brought me to law school. So the journey
was shy and skinny and unfocused.
Yeah. It's like overwrought, right? It's like trying too hard.
Sure.
Keep it more declarative. Like that sentence needed to have an I in it. we need an I.
Yep. Next sentence. At 19-year-olds, I began to develop the mindset it would take: patience, delayed gratification, goal setting, to be successful not only in not only law school, but legal practice. You want to say but also. Anyways.
The in is broken there, right? To be successful in not only law school, but legal practice?
Yeah. Either way, all this needs to be cut. Like, you're just telling us, I developed the mindset. And we have to just accept the fact that you're patient. You now embrace delayed gratification and goal setting.
And you're showing me that you're 19.
Yeah.
I don't care about you at 19.
He continues, it was at this age that I grew tired of consistently being reminded of how thin I was and why with my cousin's guidance, took action in the gym and at home to gain strength and build muscle. Okay, still 19. In the 10 years since the summer of 2009, my life as a fitness practitioner, replete with time, certifications, work experience, and complete competition, has seen me come out of my shell and grow into the man I am supposed to be. Let's just talk. If you want to talk about your bodybuilding experience or fitness experience, just talk about a competition that you competed in last year or this year. That would speak volumes. That would say, oh, okay, you've clearly trained, you've clearly become successful, and I don't need to hear about all the backstory.
It's weirdly like, it's got this tone, like this weird, like macho tone to it.
It does.
Like, he used to be a skinny, unfocused, skinny teenager, and now he's grown into the man I am supposed to be. Don't say that stuff. Get that out of there. Don't do that. I can see some women reading that. I mean, I read that and it creeps me out. I'm like, what? Like, why are we talking about manhood? I'm seeing him as this like big, beefy monster dude who's like really obsessed with being a big, beefy monster dude. Well, there's nothing wrong with fitness. You're one of my best friends, Ben. You work out all the time. It's like, that's fine. But you're not like telling me how you overcame being a skinny, that you're this beast now. I don't know.
Yeah.
He also used replete there, just not in a good way.
No, it's overselling.
Replete with time? What do you mean replete with time?
As opposed to instantaneous? Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah. I mean, and the part of the man comment too is it's just all telling, right? It's like, I'm a man now, everybody. Okay, what does that mean?
Leave that out of there. Don't stop with the telling. Like, say what you did or what you do. That's great. But this conclusion that you've become a man now is like, one, telling, but two, you're telling me things that you should, it's like hurting. This is actually hurting your case.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who are going to read this and just be like, ooh, what?
All right. He continues. Next paragraph. When I first enrolled in what was then CW Post, now known as LIU Post, in fall 2008, I was unhappy with my performance in high school and resolved to apply myself throughout my time at university. So I guess CW Post is a university?
I guess. But that's on your transcripts then.
Yeah.
And so now we're going all the way back to fall. We're going 11 years ago to when you just were shitty in high school, and now you're resolving to apply yourself throughout your time at university, which I know you did because you got a 3.7. That's pretty good.
We don't need you to tell us that. We see that.
No. Yeah. Right. What have you done? You're now a 29-year-old. Like, I don't care about what you did when you were 19.
Yeah. He continues, my interest, bacon, by the way. Bacon continues, my interest in cinema led me to the film department upon enrollment.
It's on your transcript. I don't know what else would have brought you to the film department besides an interest in cinema. We get that you had to enroll to take these classes that are on your transcript.
But I came to desire an increasingly stable, merit-based career and made a radical shift to the sciences with a plan toward medical school. Hey, as much as I might hate, I don't know if I actually hate, but as much as people might disrespect the film industry, that is a merit-based industry, just like any others. There are people who are very, very good at what they do, and they make a shitload of money. And there are people who suck, and they don't do that well. And there are people like Nicolas Cage who somehow make money anyway. But that's a merit-based career.
It is. I live in Hollywood, actual Hollywood, and I walk around, like I went to the movies last night and I had to walk around a movie that was being shot on my street here.
Yeah.
And those people work their fucking asses off, and they're geniuses who get so rich and make beautiful things. So yeah, it's like, what do you mean? Yeah. I mean, sure. Wanting stability. I get that.
Sure.
Because it ain't stable.
It's not stable, no.
But it is merit based, maybe more than most other things. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, merit based is a weird choice of terms here because almost everything is merit based. I mean, it may not feel like that. There's a lot of injustice in the world, but when push comes to shove, people want to give their money to people who at least appear to be successful, and that's generally correlated with actual merit. But okay, so radical shift to the sciences with a plan toward medical school. With a plan toward medical school?
Also, none of this happens. Like, he doesn't do these things because he's now applying to law school, which we are well aware of. So it's like, I started in film and then I wanted a more stable career. So I went to medical, but then that didn't happen.
Yeah, so you're a little bit all over the place. While I saw my time through the honors program as a biology major and completed my first thesis on what?
Barbiturate.
What is it? Barbiturate?
It's a category of drugs that you learn about in 7th grade.
7th grade. Well, obviously I failed 7th grade because I've never heard of this. So whatever these stupid sedatives are, it looks like something from logical reasoning. I wasn't confident in my ability to handle chemistry or physics. Okay.
That's a terrible sentence. It starts with, while I saw my time through the honors program as a biology major. That's just not even a sentence.
I saw my time.
I saw my time. Do you mean what?
I don't know. I saw my time through the honors program so now it's like, I guess he's looking back. He's looking back and he saw that his time as he went through the honors program as a biology major. What? No, you're right.
It's a broken sentence. It's just not a good sentence. That's a bad sentence. Like if you wrote this applying to my law school, you are not getting in.
Well,
like,
would we even get to this sentence? I don't know that we'd even get here.
Probably not. Probably not. No, because there were already broken sentences above this. But like that sentence right there, it's just like, lawyers are professional writers, and like you didn't take the time to. You're telling me about all your discipline and all that shit, but like you didn't take the time to edit this properly.
Yeah. Okay.
So and now he's the story too. It's like now he's failing. He's like he's not confident. I wasn't confident in my ability to handle chemistry or physics. Does that mean like I failed chemistry and physics?
We don't know.
Yeah.
It's mindset. Wait, so your mindset failed here. Anyways, I retained an interest in healthcare, however. So for spring 2012, I once again changed my major to healthcare administration. Ironically enough, this was the shift that would plant the seeds for my application to law school. Dun dun.
That's not ironic. Don't say that's not surprise. Healthcare administration. Are there lawyers in healthcare administration? Yes.
Okay. Despite the circuitous nature of my time at LIU Post, my two constants were life as a bodybuilder and work as a tutor in the university's writing center.
Yeah.
If you're a good writer, you don't ever say you're a good writer. And this is essentially trying to say I'm a good writer, because then it just makes the bar even higher. I just read the other day the intro or the sales pitch for a legal writing book that I hadn't heard about before. And I was just stunned by how poorly the author was pitching his book on legal writing and how poor his writing was. I was just like, wait a sec. If this is your pitch for your book on legal writing, your book cannot be good.
Yeah. You're setting the bar pretty high for yourself if you're writing about writing.
Yeah. And this person is saying, oh, I'm a tutor. Bacon's a tutor at the university's writing center. So like, oh, okay, great. Your writing should be awesome. But right now we're like, so not good. The latter. Oh, please don't say the latter. Only the LSAT can say the latter. And it shouldn't even say it, but that's what it does. The latter proved to be both a privilege and a delight each and every day I was on the job.
Privilege and delight each and every day. It's overly like he's trying so hard. Like I can see the work.
Yeah.
It's just not the right work. And he just needs to keep it more straightforward.
Yeah. My supervisor was fair and competent, comma. I was exposed to a wide range. Sorry, that sentence is done now. My supervisor was fair and competent. It's unnecessary because it's not about you. I was exposed to a wide range of study available outside, italicized, my major, since students of all disciplines came to the writing center. And last but not least, I was in a position to truly help people that were earnest and in need. That sentence is 3 sentences put together. Okay. How many words is that?
I'm doing it. 49 words.
What's our cap right now? 27?
I was always taught, and I would imagine that the writing center, when he was a tutor there, he probably taught people to keep the sentences under 35 words was what I was taught. But
yeah,
even that, most people can't pull it off.
Yeah. So
shorter is better, y'all. Like keep it. I would say hard max of like 30 words, unless you really know that you've got game. And there's nothing wrong with shorter. Like when you get to an opportunity to put a period, put a period.
Put a period. Shorter's good. You know, it's funny though, because when you say that, you're like, well, try to keep it below 30 unless you know you got game. The problem is everybody thinks they got game, but they don't got game. That's why we've had to revoke
everyone's privileges of doing everything.
Yeah. Just stop writing. All right. So Bacon continues. I loved that job and enjoyed poring over pages of material, analyzing citations, and simply being patient with people as I coached them into being better writers. All telling. With pleasure, I held this job for 5 years, took on administrative responsibilities around the center, and tutored hundreds of students over thousands of sessions. Okay, those are some facts, but I don't know what they tell me.
It falls so flat when you have like actual broken sentences right above that. Just like, that's ironic.
Can you sense the irony in my statement? Oh, Bacon. All right. Oh, what? Okay, new paragraph.
This is another broken sentence.
As a fresh, healthcare administration major. As a fresh. Don't use the word fresh.
And that the 2 commas, as a fresh, healthcare administration major, that sentence is already broken. You just told me in the previous sentence how you had tutored hundreds of students over 1,000 sessions, and your very next sentence is broken.
And when you say my first course, that's your subject. You're saying your first course was a fresh healthcare administration major.
It's wrong in like every way. It's just,
not good. Okay. My first course in spring 2012 was with Professor Maria Begley, studying the law as it pertains to healthcare. Why do we need to know about Professor Maria? I don't understand this. The joy I experienced while taking this class took me by surprise, as I had no idea how enjoyable I'd find both the case study or issue spotting hypothetical methods for exams.
What? Issue spotting hypothetical methods?
I understand the phrase issue spotting. That is a thing. Case study, I understand. But hypothetical methods for exams, never heard of it. As an attorney who has been to law school, these approaches, oh, dear God, the approaches are not attorneys who have been to law school.
No, they're not.
As an attorney who has been to law school, Professor Maria would have to say, these approaches were certainly familiar to Professor Begley, and I took them quite naturally, securing...
Took to them quite naturally.
Sorry. I took to them. Why do we care about your professor then? They were familiar to her, and you took to them quite naturally, securing...
Yeah, that's... Also, she's an attorney who has been to law school. Yeah. I would
hope so.
But he took to them quite naturally, securing top scores within the class all semester. Okay.
Great.
It's on your transcripts.
Yeah, it's on your transcript. As my time in the BS/MPA program progressed, I went on to similar successes in legal ethics courses with another attorney. Oh my gosh. You're going to tell us about another professor. Professor Linda Villa.
Yeah, name drop of another attorney. It's like that person could have written you a letter of recommendation if they did great, but they're not. Otherwise, you keep their name out of your personal statement.
Well, they're a professor. You don't have any special connection with them. You paid money to go have a class with them. That's what everyone else in the school did, no matter how poorly they did in the class.
Yeah.
All this is also on your resume. You said you secured top scores. Great. What are your top scores? Show us. We don't need to hear you tell us that you did that. As a matter of fact, she became the advisor for my second thesis on the Affordable Care Act. With that project, my goal was to analyze the history, ramifications, and political implications surrounding the law and its formulation. That was your goal. What did you succeed at? Can you tell us about your thesis? With my time at university continuing to flourish.
Your time is flourishing?
Time is set in stone for everybody.
He's done that like 3 times already, where he's used time as like a weird noun. He's like trying to use time as the subject of the sentence.
Yeah.
You flourished. That's fine. But also don't tell me that you flourished. I have your transcript in my hand.
With my time at university continuing to flourish, I sought to deepen my knowledge as a fitness enthusiast and completed a 6-month self-study course for personal training certification under the American Council on Exercise. Okay, sweet. Combining this credential with my past experience of one-on-one coaching saw me seek work as a fitness professional after graduation in order to help people transform themselves like I did.
That is an awful sentence. The subject of that sentence is combining this credential with my past experience of one-on-one coaching.
and that inanimate event or phenomena saw you.
That whole thing saw me seek work as a what? No. He did that earlier too, where he used saw that way. Like he wanted the verb to be saw.
Yeah.
You need to use, dude, let's bring it back to the days at the tutoring center. We need a subject that should probably be I, and we need an active verb.
Hey, I would suggest Brian Gardner's book called Legal Writing. I think it's just called Legal Writing. That's it. It's cool. Exercises, and it's a book of exercises. So you just go through, and he has you edit sentences, and it's like, nope, this is poorly written. Rewrite it more, just better, succinctly, etc. Anyways.
It takes time. It's not easy. Like the editing part takes time. Like it takes attention. I emailed you yesterday, Ben. I emailed you and Annalisa and Max. The total email turned out to be like 1 or 2 sentences.
Yeah, but it started out with more.
It took me 10 minutes to write that.
Yeah.
I wrote it one way, and then I like went through, whoa, what am I doing? Like, let me boil that down.
Yeah.
Boil it down again. Boil it down again. Like end up completely rewriting like what ends up being a 2-sentence email.
Because you realize that that's all you want, but you don't.
Yeah. I want to get my fucking point across without being, and I get it that sometimes you just have to fire off an email, you didn't have time to make it shorter, right?
Sure.
You just have to write this long thing because you didn't have the time to do it. But with your personal statement, this is supposed to be like, here's an example of what I'm able to do if I have unlimited time to make a really important case for myself. This is what my advocacy writing is going to look like.
Yeah.
And this is like, it's as if he didn't even edit it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've got like 10 broken sentences already.
Yeah. All right. Bacon continues. Unfortunately, while I did see success with my clientele, the general work environment proved to be incompatible with both my personal values and my long-term career aspirations. Okay. Specifically, the personal training industry tends to be highly unstable in terms of consistent work opportunities. Favoritism is rampant. And most importantly, there you go, using most importantly again, the nature of the prospect client instructor activity tends to encourage overly commodified relationships that I find inauthentic and distasteful. What the heck is going on? These are so many accusations. And the only thing I take away from this is when you say unstable in terms of consistent work opportunities and then you say favoritism, I'm like, okay, so you didn't do so well and now you're blaming others. So the message you're sending here, even if this is true, is that when shit happens, you point the finger.
Yep. I mean, also like the irony of now he's going into law of all things.
Yeah.
He doesn't like overly commodified relationships.
What does that mean?
Well, that's like he doesn't like money.
He doesn't like money?
He doesn't. It's inauthentic and distasteful if you have these commodified relationships. What do you think lawyers do? Like what do you,
Yeah.
They bill in 6-minute increments. Is that a commodified relationship? Yes, it is. It's like...
This makes me think that there are like 3 kinds of people out there in the world. There are people who are succeeding at what they're doing and they appreciate the money they get. There are people who are failing at what they're doing and hate the money that they get. or hate money, say they hate money. And then there are people who actually want to donate their time. My guess is, Bacon, it sounds like from the sentence you wrote, I don't actually know, of course, because we don't know you, but it sounds like you failed. And so now you like hate money because you're like, oh, it's not a good indicator of merit, but actually it is.
I mean, remember earlier when he was complaining about he wanted something that was more of a meritocracy?
Yeah.
And now he's down here also complaining about, he's complaining about favoritism. Favoritism? What are you talking about? You got a personal training certificate and tried to be a personal trainer.
You're saying that they favor some personal trainers over others? Yeah, I mean, that does happen in this world. People don't make decisions that are entirely merit-based, but to jump to that right away is to ignore your possible contribution to the potential problem. All right, so he continues. In short, I believe human associations should involve something more than the logic of cash and carry. What the hell does that even mean? So, in other words, you think that maybe is this a plug for communism? Like what?
Yeah, he didn't like being an entrepreneur. It sounds like he didn't like the idea that he had to like go get clients and get paid for working.
Yeah,
he thought that that was a inauthentic and distasteful thing. So he doesn't want to be. But I mean, it's not a good look because you're making me think that you're not gonna like be able to cut it. Law school is like serious. It's like intense and it's serious and you have to like go out there and get it for yourself. And he's not looking like somebody who's going to go get it, right? He doesn't want the logic of cash and carry. Well, then good luck competing for these jobs. Like lawyers, 90% of the time are fighting over money.
Well, and if you don't like going out and getting the business, you just like working, someone else had to do that. That's what partners do. They bring in business and the associates below them work on the business.
Yeah.
Anyways, that being said, upon my resignation, Okay. I returned to school, committed to the LSAT, patent bar exam, and remaining science courses as required by the USPTO. I once feared. So life was harder. Now I came back to something I feared. I don't fear it anymore because it's not as bad as life. I am never ever use the word very ever. Not even in your personal statements. Not just in your personal statements. Don't use it anywhere ever. I am very much looking forward to the opportunity to attend the law school this year, as are all the other applicants. Broaden my social network with like-minded individuals, participate in law review, and specializing, that's not parallel, in intellectual property law. Patents drive society. Holy smokes.
What?
Another truism from Bacon. And it would be an honor to support don't ever say and or, by the way, and or defend the gifts of creativity born by the brightest minds in our world. Jeez Louise. It's so disconnected from the previous sentence about involving the logic of cash and carry. Patents are the logic of, or depend on the logic of cash and carry. Thank you for both reading my story and considering my application to your institution. I'd be happy to answer any additional questions you might have. Period. That's your last sentence? Okay. Well, Bacon, if we were working with you, we would say, throw away this entire thing and maybe talk about some bodybuilding competitions you've succeeded at. Or
I would go more professional and like mature. And I don't think talking about bodybuilding and that kind of thing is like not to say that that's immature. It's just not like selling me on you as a professional.
Sure.
It sounds like he maybe already took the patent bar. We haven't seen his resume.
Yeah.
But if he already took the patent bar and these science classes, and if he's already like working as a patent examiner, I would love to hear about that.
Sure.
There's way too much failure and complaining in this personal statement. He's like, that didn't work out. And then that other thing over there didn't work out. And then that didn't work out. And this is distasteful. I don't like that. Okay, well, fine. Then keep all that to yourself, dude. And put your best foot forward here by showing me you succeeding at something. He did do that with the writing tutoring thing. But then ironically, that just has the exact opposite of the intended effect, because half the sentences, like literally half the sentences in this personal statement are broken.
Yeah.
And like any lawyer is going to look at this and go, what? You wrote that sentence? You were a writing tutor and you wrote that?
Yeah.
Okay. Like you're just scratching your head now. So it's like, yeah, the content, you got to pick a narrower, more positive idea. And you got to show me something positive about yourself. You complaining about things you don't like is not a positive thing.
Yeah. So good luck. It sounds like you've already applied. I hope you get full rides to these schools.
Yeah. If he doesn't get a full ride, I mean, if he does get a full ride, I'm like questioning the value of that school that he's going to go to.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't get a full ride, he was significantly held back by this personal statement. Like this personal statement did him no favors.
Yeah. Yeah. There's personal statements out there that help a lot. There are personal statements that don't do anything. They just kick the reviewers back to your numbers.
Yeah. Just kind of, that can be okay. You know, It doesn't have to be some like crazy, dramatic, awesome story. Like I don't have to be crying at the end of it. It could just be like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't cleanly edited. Like, I learned a little more about what you do. Okay, great. And then, oh, look at their numbers. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're in. That's great.
And then there are statements like this that hurt you.
I can't believe how many of these we see where people send them in and say like, I applied with this. And then I'm like, oh, and you wonder why you didn't get in.
Yeah.
You wonder why you got waitlisted. I don't know. Bacon, thank you for sending this in. Sorry for being like harsh about it. I guess you knew what you were getting yourself into. If you don't get a full ride this cycle, you should absolutely withdraw all your applications and just go next cycle.
Yeah.
But you have to clean this up. Like you cannot have you're writing about being a writing tutor and it's poor writing and you just can't do that. And then, theme wise, I do think it's basically blow it up and start over.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll have to end it there.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So you can always join the Facebook group, the Thinking LSAT podcast group on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram at Thinking LSAT. On Twitter at Thinking LSAT as well. For Nathan, it's at nfox, and me, it's at Olson Benjamin. My classes in DC can be found at strategyprep.com. Nathan's classes in LA and San Francisco can be found at foxlsat.com. We also do one-on-one tutoring and so forth. Our joint project is lsatdemon.com, and we are about to add a course to that as well, so we're excited about that. And that's that. That was show 202. Thanks all y'all for listening. Nice knowing you. Don't pay for law school.